and also on Lizzie Daly's channel as well. I am going to just check a few technical things just to make sure that I don't talk for half an hour with absolutely zero people listening, because that would be a catastrophe. I have been having quite a lot of problems with doing live streaming over the last few weeks since all of the problems we've had, for the simple reason I think that I guess the broadband speeds are all down, and so yeah, it's been really tricky broadcasting. And let's see if there's anyone out there in cyber world who is logged in. And let's see. So I'm going to be on here for about 20 minutes or so, answering any questions that you might have about the wild world. And it doesn't look very good so far. I can't see anything seems to be going out. But I will crack on and let's see what happens. Oh yeah, this does seem to be live. Well, to anyone out there who is watching, I am currently in the houseboat that Helen and I lived on for about 2.5 years. So Logan, our first son, was born while we were living on here, and he wasn't actually born on the boat. He was born in a hospital. Being born on the boat would be pretty ridiculous. But we did have an unbelievable summer when we were living here. It was the hottest summer we'd ever had. And so having a tiny baby inside here was a little bit like trying to bring up an infant inside a sauna. It was absolutely horrific. But now it makes a perfect place for me to do my live lessons, which I'm doing once a week, Wednesday mornings, 9:30 after the body coach. Amazing live stream. We have some people already who are writing in. So Borton Heath Academy, I hope I've said that right. Thomas Harling, please say hi. Hello you all, really nice to have you on board. The compulsive eating teacher says, hi Steve, please could you say hi to my boy Freddie. Hello Freddie, how are you doing? Well, now that I know it's working, we can get started. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Lizzie Daly for getting me on board for this live lesson. And anyone out there who wants to tune in more regularly, make sure that you subscribe to her channel, because she's got some really interesting people coming up who are going to be answering lots and lots of questions in exactly the same way. And who doesn't want to hear about the wild world while we're all kind of stuck inside, self-isolating? So let's crack on to some questions. Cod Clips 2020 asks, what is it like being bitten by a crocodile? Well, I can answer that question because I have been. Anyone who saw the actual occurrence, it was on Deadly 60. We were out looking for anaconda, specifically for yellow anaconda in Argentina in the swamps. And we'd been on horseback when one of my crew said, Steve, I saw something down in the water at your horse's hooves. I'm pretty sure it was a big snake. So I jumped down into the water and started feeling around with my toes for what I hoped was an anaconda, and inadvertently trod on a crocodile's face. And so what happened next, let's face it, I pretty much asked for it. I got bitten to the lower leg, but it really wasn't that bad. I had 10 stitches and then I was back in looking for snakes the very next day. So really wasn't bad at all. Although it's a great scar for getting out at dinner parties. Oh, that's my croc scar. And why did I turn up to a dinner party in shorts? Well, no reason. What else have we got? Oh, lots of questions coming in. This is great. Hello from Senan and Jensen in Windlesham. Windlesham? That's where my parents live. Amazing. And Senan, we so nearly called one of our twins Senan. Senan Cove in Cornwall is where Helen used to work as a lifeguard when she was a kid. She's from just around the corner from Penzance and from Newlyn. So Senan was right top of our list of names that we were going to use for our little one. Amazing. Emma Walker saying hello and that she loves the show. And please shout out to Owen as well. Hello, you all. What gwan, Steelad? From Ollie Marr, Stinky Loz and Boxing Tom. I hope I said that reasonably well, you all. Hello to all of you too. We've got, could I shout out all the rhino? Hello, all the rhinos that are watching. Tom Davis, I think that's probably fairly niche. Hi from Shore and West Sussex, that's Emily Buckle. I've also got a request from one of my friends, Zana. She has two lovely nephews who've been watching the live lessons and things, are really into them. And as anyone will have seen, my my homeschooling that I'm doing on a Wednesday morning, 09:30, just putting the plug out there. I'm doing a lot of stuff trying to use the things that I've got around my house as a way of explaining simple things about biology. And I have lots and lots of fossils around the house, which I'm using as a way of both describing how fossils are made, but also describing a little bit about how we know about extinct animals and how they live their lives. And she wanted me to talk just very briefly about one particular fossil for them. So I grabbed this one, which is one of my absolute favourites, because I was given it as a present on one of the film shoots that I did, and someone gave me this as a present, and I looked at it and I went, oh, do you know, that really doesn't add up. It just looks way too neat, way too spectacular, and apart from anything else, it's set in concrete. And I got in touch with my good friend, Professor Ben Garrod, or Bone Boy Ben, as we all like to call him, and he informed me that, yeah, that is a fake. It's a total fake fossil being sold down on the south coast of the UK, made out to be something like a mosasaur. Well, it's not. I mean, there's a couple of bits in there that are maybe could possibly be fossil, but most of it is just a total fraud. So yeah, that's for Xana's nephews. Big up to the both of you. What else have we got? Oh no, someone's saying, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this on her channel. I am, Thomas. This should be live streaming on Lizzie's channel, unless the tech isn't working. We were trying to link up. I really, really hope it is. If not, Lizzie is going to hate me. I'm going to be in so much trouble. Oh, fingers crossed. Joanna Tasker says, watching in a break from digging our new wildlife pond, Isaac and Megan. What a fantastic thing to do during self-isolation. I was actually thinking about doing that on one of my live lessons, how to make a wildlife pond. What's really interesting at this time of year, particularly this time of year, is that if you set up a wildlife pond and you don't put anything in it, you don't put any wildlife into it, it will almost immediately start to sustain life. So you get a lot of flying insects that will be emerging from below the water that have been aquatic insects over the last year or couple of years, will start laying their eggs into your pond. All of a sudden, frogs spawn and newt spawn are going to turn up there, and it will start to become a living environment really, really quickly, even if you put nothing into it yourself. If you were to go out and do a little bit of pond dipping and start putting in some Gammarus and Daphnia and some of the little aquatic invertebrates that you might find when you're pond dipping, then it will work an awful lot quicker, and pretty soon you will have a thriving ecosystem in your own backyard. Ruby Dodwell says, what animal has given you the worst injury? So I've never really had a bad injury from an animal, despite over 20 years working with them professionally. I guess some people would think that the croc bite probably counts, but you know, my experience has shown me that animals will, in almost every single situation, avoid an encounter with a human being if they can, because you know, we are often an unfamiliar species, or if we are familiar, then there probably are negative connotations to any encounter with a human being. They avoid us at all costs. So I've never had a bad injury from an animal. I have suffered extreme pain from an animal, which is a different thing, particularly from the sting of the bullet ant, which is listed as being the world's most painful stinging insect. So I did something called the bullet ant ritual with the Setere Maui tribe in Brazil, where you have a pair of gloves with bullet ants with the stingers woven with the stings on the inside, and they sting your hands over and over and over again. And each one is supposed to be like being shot. That's why they call the bullet ant. So I was stung hundreds of times, was barely aware of where I was, passing in and out of consciousness for the best part of, I guess, 3 or 4 hours. And then for I would guess another couple of hours, there was just nothing in my world apart from pain. So yeah, bullet ant, number one, insect nasty. What else have we got? My daughter Emma loves sharks and would like to know what your favourite shark is. Good question. I'd probably go for something odd, like a tasseled wobbegong, because they're unusual, fabulous cryptic camouflage, and just a really, really exciting and unusual shark. Leo wants to know what the most venomous animal in the world is. It's usually described as being Chironix fleckeri, the box jellyfish. There are several other box jellies that are closely related that are also very venomous. It's not necessarily the toxicity of their venom, but the amount that they're capable of delivering simultaneously to quite a large area of a prey's body, and the kind of venom as well. So there are very, very few animals that have the potential to deliver a completely lethal sting that could kill you as quickly as a box jellyfish. Ben Langdown, age 6 in Wiltshire, wants to know what is the most poisonous dart frog. That is Phyllobites terribilis, the golden dart frog, which occurs in the very southern tip of Colombia. It is no bigger than the little end of my finger, or the end of my little finger. I'm an English graduate, seriously, the end of my little finger, and it has enough poison in its skin to kill 10 people. But that is poison, not venom, so it doesn't make any difference if it bites you. It's only if you were to actually eat the frog. Louise Fletcher says, I'm a huge herpetology fan and want to know what the best way to get experience handling snakes is. Keeping snakes is, without question, the way to learn. That is very much how I learnt. I was probably well into my 20s before I ever handled anything venomous. But I'd been, handling snakes for most of my life, and it is just the best way. There are lots of courses out there now. You can actually sign up on a course to learn how to handle snakes, and I would say that my best advice, my best learning experiences have been being out in the field with people who are better than I am, with the Arula tribe in South India, who are without parallel and seem to be able to find a snake simply by licking a finger and holding it up in the air and going, oh, there's a snake over there. Just their ability to figure out where snakes are is insane. So yeah, learning from people that essentially have been doing it a lot longer than you have. Greg Sully, which spider, in your opinion, has the most ingenious web design or hunting strategy? I think you have to go an awful long way to better the orb web weaving spider right here in our country, the garden orb web weaver. And to sit and watch, or to film and then speed up and watch one of those building their web is one of the great miracles in nature. That said, my favourite has to be the net casting spider, sometimes known as the gladiator or ogre-faced spider. They make a small web, which they hold in between the front 2 pairs of legs. They hang like this, hanging down towards the substrate, and if an insect walks below them, they spread the net out over them. All of it happens in the blink of an eye. They entangle the insect, bite it, inject it with venom, and it's all over. It is utterly spectacular, and they have the largest eyes for their size of any arachnid. Tommy Pilkington from the Isle of Man. What's the most exciting experience you've ever had whilst on expedition, and why? There's lots of potential answers to that question. I think one of them might be, we were in Suriname in South America. When was it? It would have been, not last year, beginning of the year before. And we came out of the rainforest onto a waterfall that doesn't occur on any map, that wasn't known by any of the nearest tribes, although the nearest tribes were, about 2 weeks worth of paddling away, that essentially did not exist. We were the first human beings to record that waterfall. It tumbled for 100 meters through the forest. It was rampaging white water, utterly spectacular, and nobody else had ever seen it before. And for that to happen in this day and age is just completely blew my mind. Thomas Harling, there are a lot of people on Lizzie's channel. I hope that means there's a lot of people watching on Lizzie's channel. I very definitely am supposed to be broadcasting on there at the moment as well. Fingers crossed. What else have I got here? Hello to Arthur Scott. Yes, hi Arthur, how you doing? Ben and Joe, which bird is the fiercest? The Guinness Book of Animal Records listed as being the southern cassowary. Certainly they have a spike-like toe that they are capable of using to eviscerate or disembowel any predator that might be coming towards them. And yeah, I mean, they can be really, really fierce. Thomas Harling again. I'm sorry, mate. There's nothing I can do now. It's either broadcasting there as it should be or not. I'm very, very sorry if it isn't. What else have we got? Alfie Dickens, trying to prepare for biology A-level after all my GCSEs have been cancelled. Oh, mate, I really feel for you. It's so hard. All I can say is there's lots and lots of people now, like Lizzie, who are getting out there, getting as much content as possible out there for people to see, which hopefully can help you on your way and help you, keep excited and keep enthused. All I can say is keep your end goal in sight. Whatever it is that made you want to do those biology A-levels, that goal is still there. That goal hasn't gone away. And if anything, be more hungry for it. Now that you're sat frustrated and going up the walls, just think about the opportunity that those qualifications are going to give you and strive towards them. And the very, very best of luck from me. I really feel for you. It must be horrific. Rich J, have you ever been sprayed by a skunk? Yes, and it was awful. Actually, that's not entirely true. I wasn't sprayed by the skunk. I was working on a ranch in Texas, and one night, middle of the night, I got up and I just smelled this overpoweringly horrific smell, and their German Shepherd dog, Volk, who weighed about 10 stone, he was huge, great big shaggy hairy coat, had obviously disturbed a skunk in the night and been sprayed, and Volk came into the house and just wandered around, lying on the carpets, lying on the duvets, lying on all my clothes in my suitcase, and everything had to be thrown away. Everything. The smell was extraordinary, and we couldn't get it out of everything. They say use tomato juice as a way of cleaning it down, but it didn't work. It didn't work at all. It stunk. It was horrific. Max Monk is still in his PJs, but we don't care. It's 5:15, for goodness sake. You shouldn't even be thinking about getting into your PJs yet. Yeah. Kitty saying, please do a lesson on wildlife ponds. That would be amazing. Okay, all right. Well, listen, I'll have a think. I'll have a think about what we can do and how we can make that visual and see what I can come up with. Laura Felton, Ben and Laura in Colchester say your expeditions are both dangerous and technical. Have you had to go on courses to learn skills, or have you learnt as you go along? It's a bit of both, really. I started doing expeditions with the Duke of Edinburgh and with the Scouts in my early teens. And then beyond that, once I started doing expeditions on my own in my late teens, I obviously learnt by my mistakes, I learnt by my failures. But then I also did lots of courses as well. So I took all of my kayaking qualifications, my sea kayaking qualifications for teaching as well as for leading expeditions, likewise with whitewater and with mountaineering and expedition leading and my medic qualifications. And it's taken a long time and a lot of money, for want of a better word. It takes a long time to get qualified, and all I can say is just get started as early as you can, and it doesn't have to be some massive full-on expedition to a far-flung part of the world. Once all of this is over, start thinking about doing a sea kayaking expedition around the coast of the UK, or going for a hike in your nearest local national park. that's the way to get started. Joshua, have you ever seen a shoebill? Yes, I have, in Uganda. They're fabulously rare. They stand pretty much as tall as my chest, and the reason they're called a shoebill is because their bill looks like a shoe. It really does. Zed Hand, hello from Isle of Wight. Hello, hello, hello. What else have we got? Someone asking about deadly dinosaurs. Have I been bird watching with puffins? Absolutely yes. I mean, they're just the most charming birds. What else have we got? How long is the longest shark? Rory Dublin, the whale shark. In this country, though, the basking shark can get to be pretty big. You know, I've seen them 4 meters, 5. They get to be a good deal bigger than that. Whale sharks, though, considerably more. So we'll do another 5 minutes or so. I'm really, really hoping that this is still going out on Lizzie's channel as well. Wow, there's loads and loads of questions here. This is great. Someone here planning on making a documentary on poaching in Southern Africa. Any tips about what to do? That's Louis Fletcher. So I don't know if you saw, Louis, but I've just done one of those myself, which will be up on the BBC iPlayer at the moment. So if you look at Deadly 60, I'm pretty sure it's episode 1, is about rhino poaching in South Africa. What I would say is be very sure and make some good contacts out there. I love South Africa. I have a lot of dear friends there. I've been filming there for a very long time. But it's probably more than any other country I've been to in the world, somewhere where you can really let your guard down, because, you know, you go to the garden route or you go to the nice parts of Cape Town and it is stunningly beautiful, and you would think that you're in, you know, the safest place in the world. But those people who are on the front line against poaching, it is a life and death situation every single day. Everyone's armed, everyone has automatic weapons, and the price of rhino horn is more per weight than gold. So if you get yourself in the way in that situation, if you get yourself into a wrong situation without the right backup, you know, it would be an awful, awful situation to get in. Seriously, make sure you do your prep beforehand and get the right people on your side. What else have we got? Okay, so we're at 23 minutes past. Let's go to 25 minutes past. Charlotte Cullo from Leipzig in Germany. Hello, Charlotte. How are you? I hope things are going all right for you over there. Freddie Rahman, which is scarier, the great white shark or the saltwater crocodile? So I've dived with both great whites and big crocodiles, and underwater there is no comparison. The big crocodiles were utterly terrifying, and you just got the sense that there was nothing you could do about it. I mean, how true that is, it kind of depends on the water clarity and quality. Sharks have incredibly sensitive noses, so you do kind of know that as a last resort, if a shark came towards you and you've got a camera in your hand, which I almost always have, that a bump on the snout usually is enough to send them packing. Do that to a crocodile and it will bite harder. So that's, yeah, why I've always found that really, really freakish. What else have we got? Let's do a couple more minutes. Cobra asks, do saltwater crocs have the strongest bite force per square kilogram? Yes, they absolutely do. The strongest animal that's around today. Some of the extinct crocodilians would have had an even more potent bite force. I'm going to do a terrible job of pronouncing this name. This is from Leicester. I think it's Jawaria from Leicester is camping in their garden as part of the cubs. What birds should they look out for first thing in the morning? Well, what you should do is listen out, because very first thing in the morning, we have, I would say, the finest dawn chorus of any place in the world. And even something as simple as our humble blackbird has a fluted call, which is gorgeous and glorious. And I think that just listening out for that, when all the other birds start joining in and you have this incredible orchestra of sounds, it can really brighten your dawn and the beginning of your day. So good luck to you. very, very best of luck camping out for the cubs. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time. Thomas and George, they are online. Hello, you all. I'm really, really glad that you got to see it, and you got to see my triumphant fake fossil. And they want to know the biggest fossil I've found and where did you find it. So we had the most amazing expedition in Oman last year, where we made the first ever ascent of a mountain in the desert. And halfway up this vertical cliff face that we were climbing, there was a cave no more than 1.5 meters high. And inside we found a stack of fossils which looked like the fossils of a whale. Now, we can't be 100% sure that that's what they are. Certainly there's been suggestions they could be fossilised burrows of ancient shrimp-like creatures, but they were huge. There's no way that we could have taken them out. They were massive, massive fossils, and some of them looked exactly like the vertebrae of cetaceans. So, yeah, they were easily the biggest ones I've seen. Okay, so a massive thank you to Lizzie Daly for hosting this live lesson. Please subscribe to her channel and check out all of the other live lessons that she's got happening on there. There's lots of my old friends and colleagues who are tuning in to do exactly the same as I'm doing now. To anyone else, Wednesdays, 9:30 in the morning, I will be doing my live lessons from my channel. And all the very, very best from me, Stevie B!